Okay, guys, today I want to talk to you about brain overload. I have been discussing this with some of my science students and a great number of adults. We're all on brain overload. We're anxious, we're frustrated, we're worried about things. So I'm going to represent that, and I'm going to do that with Beaker. So this represents our brain, and this is all the stuff we put into our brain on a daily basis. Now, scientists tell us that we have over 70,000 thoughts a day, most of which are repetitive and negative in nature. Okay, so during the day, here goes. We're worrying about, we're running late, we're thinking about the bills we have to pay, we've got deadlines we're not making, we've got a bill we haven't addressed yet, we had an argument with a friend last week, and of course, there's that broken window we haven't got fixed yet. And already we're on brain overload. Our brain is packed full, mostly of useless information. So we need to do a brain dump. We need to do a brain dump, but it's not quite so easy as that. Why do we need to do a brain dump? Because you need to clear up some space in this busy brain so that you can get back to being creative, so that you can have some great ideas coming in, so that you can get back to your vision of the future. When your mind is so packed full of mostly useless information, this is when there is no space for anything to download. Your brain isn't coherent and neither is your body. Nothing is working in harmony here. Okay, so what do we need to do? I've got some suggestions for you. Number one, you need at least 5 minutes every single day, especially at the busiest times, to be able to sit down somewhere quiet and close your eyes. And what I want you to do for that 5 minutes is take the longest, deepest breaths in and the longest, deepest breaths out. And this is amazing for calming the mind and the body and bringing your mind and body back into coherence. Number two, what I want you to get is some sticky labels. I want you to get a highlighter, a marker pen, just a pen to write with, and a notebook. Okay, so on this notebook, what I want you to write down are all the things that you've been really worried about. So you're worried, you're anxious, you need to get a quote on fixing your car, you've got a broken window in the back room that you haven't done yet, you've got a leaking faucet out the backyard, that noisy neighbor, you've never done anything about it, but it's driving you insane and it's just creating so much resentment and frustration. And then of course you've got that deadline to meet, you've got that phone bill you haven't paid yet, you're worried about that friend, you had a bit of a disagreement last week and you haven't addressed it and you haven't heard from her, maybe you need to get back to her. So you write all of these things down. All of the things that you're worried, you're anxious and you're frustrated about. I want you to put them all down here. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is get hold of a marker pen, big thick marker pen. All of the things that you have no control over whatsoever, I want you to cross them out. So the mother-in-law that doesn't like you, you may not be able to do anything about that. You forgot to send a birthday card. There's no point in worrying about that or getting anxious. What's done is done. You could send a message to say sorry about that, but what's done is done. You forgot to call a friend back. So, okay, what's done is done, and you can maybe, send her a message to say sorry about that. Okay, so now once we've crossed out all of the things that we have no control over whatsoever, now I want you to take a highlighter pen and I want you to highlight all of the things that you believe are something that means a great deal to you to sort out. So it means a great deal to me to somehow deal with my noisy neighbor because I don't want to be resentful. I don't want to be angry towards them at all, I need to sort this out. So that's something I really want to address. I really need to write an email to a very close friend that I haven't seen for a very long time. I've got to phone that client that I've been putting off. I keep thinking about it. I'm anxious about it. I'm worried about it. I'm going to do it. Now, when you've highlighted the things that do mean a great deal to you, that's causing a great deal of anxiety, things that you can change, that you do have control over. Now, what I want you to do is to prioritize them in order. And when you've prioritized them, your little sticky labels, they come in very handy. I want you to take three sticky labels, and I want you to write down on those sticky labels your top 3 priorities. Okay, so I've got my 3 sticky labels. I'm going to write down my top 3 priorities, and they are going to get stuck on my fridge or my bathroom mirror or on the side of my computer until they are done. And then I'll go to my next priorities. Okay, guys, so focus all of your attention to fulfill each one. And whilst we don't have control over other people, we don't have control over the traffic, we don't have control over the economy, the weather, what we do have control over are our thoughts. We do have control over our behavior, the choices we make. We do have control over where we place all of our focus. So start directing your thoughts and making conscious decisions where you will place all of your attention. And as the saying goes, where you place your attention is where your energy flows.